Hello, this is Alara Basul with World in 2 Minutes, bringing you the latest developments around the world. Our first story is from Israel. With the deadline looming hours away, Hamas on Thursday rejected Israeli demands it disarm and threatened to resume its rocket attacks if its demands for lifting a crippling blockade on Gaza were not met. The hardline stance, voiced by a senior Hamas official at the group's first rally since a ceasefire in the Gaza war took effect on Tuesday, signaled that indirect negotiations in Cairo over a permanent truce in Gaza were not making headway. It was an ominous sign ahead of Friday's expiration of a temporary 3-day truce that ended a month of fighting. NATO's chief defied mountain-rushing belligerents Thursday with a pledge to provide assistance to Ukraine, which is battling to quash an insurgency being waged by pro-Russian rebels in the country's east. The show of support from Anders Fogh Rasmussen comes as government troops increasingly focus their push to claw back rebel-held territory on the stronghold of Donetsk. Ukraine appears to be ratcheting up on the urgency of its onslaught against a backdrop of an alleged escalation of Russian troop presence on the border. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry flew to Afghanistan late on Thursday on an unannounced visit to press the country's two feuding presidential candidates on the urgency of ending a bitter dispute over June elections and forming a new government by early September. Kerry's arrival in Kabul follows Tuesday's killing of a U.S. general by an Afghan soldier at the National Defense University, an incident that underscored the tensions that persist as the U.S. combat roles winds down. The political uncertainty that Kerry is trying to address is another complicating factor in the transition. The newly inaugurated Libyan parliament has threatened to act against warring militias who don't abide by its call for an imminent ceasefire, which it said would be supervised by the United Nations. The parliament's call is among its first since it convened the eastern city of Tobruk after violence swept through the capital, Tripoli, and Libya's second-largest city of Benghazi. With this story, we have come to the end of this hour's top stories. You can always find more at trtworld.com. Until we meet again in 2 hours, stay tuned. Goodbye.